you have yoga supplies, you are more than welcome to use them, of course, but I'm going to assume most of us don't have access to studio props right now, so we will make our own. I just have a regular bed pillow, a face cloth, which works great in replacement for eye pillows, and then I have two very heavy but thin blankets. If you don't have small blankets, the other thing that works great is actually beach towels. If you have a spare yoga mat that you're not using to sit on, one thing that works really great is keeping one rolled up. That can be used as a bolster, sometimes as a substitution. So some of you might need to go run and get those things. I will give you like a minute to go do that, and just the last few changes you need as we settle in. If you're ready to go, get yourself into a shape of your choosing. I usually recommend sitting with eyes closed or cuddling onto the floor in a shape that feels restful with little work. You can use your props as desired. We'll drop on in to this restorative practice together. In about a minute, I'll begin with a guided meditation. I'm going to get this one tucked away and put the finishing touches on our cozy space as well. So use your props, get yourself comfortable in whatever shape feels good. Let's move these off to the side. I often recommend coming down to lay on your back, maybe tucking your pillow under your head for support. If you have low back pain, bringing the knees together, letting them rest. It might feel more comfortable to come side laying, or it might feel more comfortable to start cozy and seated, spine tall. Whatever shape feels most comfortable, give it to yourself now. Start to let your attention turn inwards. If you can, close your eyes, or maybe using something to cover your eyes if you're laying down. It's been a week. As you start to turn inwards, just become aware of your breath. Without trying to change it, just notice how it moves through your body. Notice how fast your brain wants to go. Notice the speed your body is wanting to go. Yeah. If you find as we move through our practice tonight, you're getting overwhelmed, you're finding your brain distracted, thoughts are coming up, know that this is a practice, not a perfect. And each distraction is an opportunity to return to the present and notice how the breath moves through you. Without changing, without judging, just noticing that inhale and the exhale. Breathing in and out, your own rhythm. If nothing else, that can be your practice. Not just on the mat tonight, but over the next few days as you need it. Notice your breath. And as you're breathing, feel where your head is in space. If you're laying down, notice which parts of you touch the floor. Become aware of how it feels across your forehead. Let your eyes soften a little bit. Make a nice wave, gently melting the tension out of the brow, letting the jaw unclench. Maybe even swallow once or twice to let that last bit of tension through the mouth go away. A little bit of space appearing through the back teeth. Notice your shoulders. And see if there's any tension through the shoulders that you can let drop, let melt away. See if you can let yourself sink into the shape you find yourself in. As you breathe, just notice how the chest moves, how the rib cage moves, how the belly moves. Each breath in this moment together. Just inhaling and exhaling. If you like to work with an intention through your practice, now's the time to set it. If you're not sure what that means, or you would like a little suggestion, I always offer the idea to my students of being curious, of just noticing where you're at today and accepting it. I would add to that it's okay to just be right where you are. So how can you just surrender to the curiosity of this moment? Start to let your breath deepen a little bit. Coming into the belly. Starting to bring a little movement into fingers, into toes. Nice and slow, making those movements bigger. We're all in different shapes. So very slowly making your way up to a comfortable seat. I'm gonna let the last straggler into our Zoom meeting here. There we go. And slowly everybody coming up to a comfortable seat. We will set up for our first posture. If you have glasses, you'll want to take them off for comfort. One of our blankets we will take folded kind of so it looks like a little block. This will be going between our knees and lower shins to help keep our hips stacked. If you do have a bolster, lots of people like to use a bolster here. Our second blanket, we will make nice and long. This can also be a rolled up yoga mat. This can be a beach towel, whatever you want, or just a thin blanket. And kind of making it like a nice, long, and kind of thick noodle. If you can, Try to make it so that there's no creases. And we'll have our pillow up here at the top of our mat. A little bit of space with just the mat. Glasses are off. Coming down onto a side, doesn't matter which. Aiming to bring the bottom of my rib cage to the top of my hip over this bolster. This blanket can come between my knees. This blanket may also be a bolster. If it's a bolster or something larger, even the blanket, you may do bottom leg long, top leg with a nice deep bend in the knee, and the blanket supporting underneath it. Come up to your head and support your head however feels best. It might be just the pillow with your shoulder in this open space. It might feel better to tuck your hands under, curling your arms in. Some people like to reach up above head, letting their hand rest for some rib opening, or even letting the hand come to rest behind them. I suggest maybe using an extra blanket or something or someone to lean on if your hand comes behind you, or even resting your hand on your belly and just letting the elbow. Whatever your version of a supported side twist, come into it now. Give yourself the next minute or two to let yourself sink into the support of this posture. Take as much time as you need to let yourself settle in, to let yourself get comfortable. You can take any variation of this pose. I will simply sit for instructing. As you settle in this shape, laying on your side, feel which parts of your ear touch the pillow. Let that side of your head get heavy. Feel your neck soften. Bring that space back between the back teeth. Notice how it feels through your chest space. Notice the shape that your shoulders are in. Just notice which parts of your body, your upper body, your shoulders, your arms touch the floor. Can you let yourself sink in to this support? The idea of being curious. See how much you can trust the props beneath you to hold you. And as little bits of tension melt away, come back to observe the breath. With each inhale, letting yourself rise and fill. And with each exhale, letting the body soften. Sometimes as the body slows down, the mind picks up. Your mind wanders. Come back to your breath. As you come back to your breath, just notice how it moves through your rib cage. With each exhale, letting that tension through your hips soften. Feel your legs get heavy. And notice as you breathe how you literally expand up and away from the floor as you inhale. Everything just melts into place on your exhale. And take the next 2 minutes, stillness and silence before moving to the other side. Always coming back to your inhale, following exhale. Just like the waves on the ocean. Inhale. To exhale. Back to inhale. Back to exhale. And when you're ready, start to breathe a little deeper. Inhaling, let the ribs really expand and fill. Exhale, let everything soften down. Start to notice the shape you're in. Maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring a little bit of movement in to the extremities. When you're ready with your arm that's up top, just take it and maybe roll your shoulder a few times, making circles. They could be big or slow. Whatever feels good, just reaching the arm in all ranges, up above, out in front, out behind. Then slowly, top arm coming down to the floor, pushing into the floor to lift you up. Just take a moment to pop up onto hands and knees. Oh, excuse me. And as you come onto hands and knees, we'll do some cat and cow. Come here. So as you inhale, drop your belly, drop your chest, and coming in through cow. As you're ready to exhale, pushing through your hands, letting your back body around into cat. Or maybe it feels better to do a little freestyle movement. That works too. Just allowing a bit of a reset before we head to the other side in just a moment. So from here, turn, coming down to do the same posture on the second side. I will stay facing you for obvious reasons. But just because you have two sides doesn't mean that your shape will and should be the same. You may take a slightly different thickness of blanket roll. You may use a different leg posture or arm posture. So as you come down into your second side, adjust so that you feel comfortable. Remembering that we're aiming to bring this sort of middle blanket bolster that we've got blanket folded up in a little log between the bottom of the rib cage and the hip. So this lower part of the abdomen. Coming down with your knees, blanket may come between. Bottom leg might go straight, top knee on the front. So come in, get settled for your second side. Turn your focus back inward. From the movement, find the calm again. How does it feel to land in this new shape? Can you let yourself sink in? Do you feel your ear on the pillow or your arm? Can you let the sides of your neck soften? Can you let the heart space melt? Always bringing the mind back to the breath when it wanders. As you soften into your side twist, supported through your abdomen by this center blanket, your leg support, can you let all the parts of you touching these bolsters, touching these blankets, touching any of the parts, get heavy? In this moment, you are perfectly imperfect. That's just how you were meant to be. All that matters is this breath in and this breath out. Inhale and exhale. Let your awareness come back to your breath. And just notice starting at the very top of your head and scanning down to your toes. Take the next 20 breaths to slow-mo notice the shape you're in. Just being curious. Seeing if you can let all the spaces of you touching the props and the support sink in. Staying in the shape. Noticing how it feels for another 2 minutes. Inhaling fully and exhaling fully. As you breathe, start to bring a little movement into fingers, maybe into toes. Whatever shape your top arm is in, maybe start to draw some circles with it. Noticing how it feels to move. Really notice as you reach behind you, letting the chest open. And eventually, your top hand coming down to the floor, pushing into your palm. Feel yourself back up to a comfortable shape. Just move your props of 2 blankets out of the way. Take a moment, keeping eyes closed or soft. Come back to whatever a comfortable seat is. Do a couple shoulder rolls backwards in swimming line separately. You can do them together. Yeah, notice that crunching. Take a moment, tuck your chin all the way in, looking straight down to your feet. Inhale, roll one ear up towards the same shoulder. Exhale, come back down to the center. Inhale, come up, rolling up the other way. Exhale, nose down. Just a few more of these. Inhale, bringing you up to one side. Exhale, bringing you down to the center. Move with your own breath. We'll finish up We'll do roughly 3 sets on each side total, so finish up when you've had that done. Do a couple more backward shoulder rolls. All right. Getting ready for our next posture. We'll use the same pillow configurant or blanket. So you have one blanket or a large towel that's folded up kind of like a square block, a little thin. We'll keep that a little lower. We have another blanket that we made into a nice long, flat pool noodle. You might keep it really long if you don't want a ton of support, or if you like a little bit of a deeper back bend, you can fold it in half. Just need it broad enough that it can go across your shoulders. Move so that your linguine noodle bolster here has a little bit of space between you and your pillow. So when you lay down, the backs of your shoulders will be supported. All the way down. So the back of my heart is supported, and then the tops of my shoulders fall into this little space in between. Now, if you feel like your head is creaming at all to go back, you can fold your pillow. You want your chin to be able to be flat instead of sticking up towards the ceiling. So support your neck. Arms can do a few different things. Arms might come wide like a T. If you're trying to open up through the chest, sometimes palms up towards the ceiling with hands in cactus. Sometimes holding on to the belly feels a little safer, especially if you've been very rounded. Like for your legs, a couple options. For low back pain, walk your feet very wide. Let your feet fall together, or your knees fall together to touch, rather. If you like doing butterfly, we will do a half butterfly tonight. So whichever side has your blanket on it, that will be your bent leg. Other leg coming straight. Just let the toes fall open. For your bent leg, place your foot in line with your other knee. And then let your knee fall open. Tucking this blanket underneath your leg with as much or moving it away for even less support to allow a little bit of opening through the hip. So it looks like I'm laying in tree pose. I want no pressure coming through the front of the hip or through the armpits. If it's pulling through the armpits, you can reduce the height of your bolster underneath your shoulders. Or bring the arms palm down to the belly, underneath the hips. Find yourself in this shape. If you're doing a one-legged expression, I will let you know roughly through halfway when it is time to gently move. Notice this new shape you find yourself in. How can you melt into this shape? Notice where your head is. Feel the back of your head sink into the softness of the pillow. Feel the head melting. Shoulders surrender. Gravity gently pulls the chin down. The shoulders back towards the floor. Pay attention to the chest. Pay attention to the movement through the ribs and the belly. Every little space that your spine is touching, blanket, bolster, mat. Feel yourself lean into that support. A flexible, comforting support. There's a softness here that accommodates you. Inhale to feel the rib cage, the belly fill. Exhale to soften. Inhaling fully, letting yourself expand, feeling yourself lighten. And exhale fully to let yourself soften. Let that last bit of tension from your glutes, from your bum, the pelvis, just sink into the support beneath you. Almost as if you got in an elevator, you decided to go to the very bottom of the building. Feel yourself surrender to support. Right here, right now, all that matters is the breath. If you're doing only one bent leg, you're ready to move to the other side. If you need any movement, feel free to take it as we head into the second part of the posture. Just taking your bent leg and slowly lifting your knee back towards the ceiling, letting the sole of your foot find the floor. Bend your other leg, letting that foot find the floor as well. Walk your heels nice and wide, keeping the upper body where it lays. Gently moving knees from one side to the next. Winding out. A little bit of movement for the low back. A little slower than you want. Next time your knees are up by the ceiling, keep them there. And if it feels good, bringing both knees up towards the chest. Give your shins a little squeeze, hugging your knees in. We'll go back around. From here, we'll move over to the other side. So again, you can plant your feet and just let the knees come together, feet wide, hanging up here. You can do the half hip opening pose on the other side by taking your blanket to the other side. That knee opening wide. And the leg you just did coming nice and long. Adjust your prop as you need so that you have the support under your knee. You may also prefer a full expression of butterfly, so that's both soles of the feet together, knees nice and wide. Make sure there's no pulling through the front of the hips. You can make little fists with your hands, use it as a kickstand, or you can bring a second blanket from the other side. So I'll show on this side again. Take the variation that feels best. Let yourself settle back. The second half of the posture, the second side of the posture. Notice how it may feel different on this side. And explore it with your breath. Imagine as you breathe, the breath slowly traveling all the way down the spine, to the belly, right into the pelvis itself, front of the hip. All that lovely air filling you, lightness, nourishment. And as you exhale, surrendering to the now, to this breath, to this moment. Keeping your eyes soft, covered. Keeping your breath steady. Inhaling, and exhaling fully. Give you some quiet to reflect in our last few minutes of this shape. Your breath is the only constant, and it acts as a wave rippling through our mind and body. Inhale to fill. Exhale to empty. Inhale and exhale. Letting the breath move through you fully. Just as you are. When you're ready, starting to bring a little movement, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, maybe turning head side to side. But slowly, with our bent knee, pull it up towards the ceiling. If the other knee wasn't coming up with it, nice deep bend through the legs, setting your foot back on the floor. Heel toe your feet wide, maybe reaching down to move your blanket out of the way. And just dropping knees from one side to another. Moving the knees back and forth nice and slow. So a few times. Until eventually both knees come all the way to one side and one arm reaches up and over, coming towards your knees. From here, we'll slowly roll onto our sides. Top hand pushing into the floor. Carefully, slowly lift yourself back up. For our last pose of the night, we'll come into Shavasana. You can take any expression of Shavasana that might feel best, or any pose that might feel best if you're craving one. Use the props or the blankets that you need. If that doesn't mean much to you, or if you want a suggestion, take one of your blankets and we'll bring it something nice and long, and folding in half again. If you have a beach towel, you can fold it into thirds. You want something that's nice and long, and maybe in half again. Something that can fit from the bottom of my chin to the top of my belly button. It's not an exact science with home props. And what we'll do is we'll do an amended reclined posture. So I'll put my skinny little noodle down below, right to the base of the pillow for my head. Also, we want a little support for under our knees. So with my other long spaghetti, I'm going to fold that in so that the halves meet the middle. Bringing this down near the bottom of my mat. So basically just replacing a bolster under the knees and a bolster to come under the spine. And we will slowly lower down. So the goal is, as you lay back, to have the center column of your spine supported and your head supported by the pillow. You want a little something under your knees, but if you do have low back pain, you can always bend your knees, let the soles come together. Take your time getting into this shape. If this doesn't feel comfortable or something else would feel better, please take that expression. I'm going to come into a more comfortable shape for the last few minutes of our practice. Let's all take some time to turn inwards, to bring the focus back to you, to notice your breath. You may want to put face cloth over your eyes if you're laying down. If you have an eye pillow and you've been feeling anxious, sometimes laying that little sandbag across the sternum here, over the heart space, can feel good. A gentle, comforting pressure. Let yourself soften in. As best you can, be here in this moment with me, with yourself. And for the last 10 minutes of class, do your best impression of a little piece of butter on a fresh, warm piece of toast. Let yourself take the comfort. Feel yourself sink in. Let go. The mind wanders. Just notice the breath. Soften into the shape, into the support around you. The way you soften into the hug of a good friend. Each breath an opportunity to be present. Inhaling Exhaling to soften. Inhale and exhale. Slowly start to become aware of the very top of your head. Over the next 20 breaths, slower than you want to, pull that attention down from the very top of your head to the very tips of your toes. Be curious. Just notice. Notice and breathe. As you notice, let your breath become a little deeper. That awareness slowly making its way all the way down to the tips of your toes. When you're ready, move your hands to bring one hand to your heart space, the other hand on top. Feel how you expand into your hands as you inhale. Feel that touch contact. Stay strong but soft as you exhale. In this moment, there is the inhale. There is the exhale. And there is you. In this moment, you are okay.